Hi, and welcome to Perpetual Fitness Training. My name is Holly. Thank you for joining me for our yoga session today. All you'll need today is probably just a block. I am going to make this yoga session for beginners, so I'm going to be modifying throughout. If you know how to do the full version, you can feel free to do that or follow along with me. So go ahead and grab your block, grab a mat, and let's get going. All right, let's go ahead and begin in a seated position. So I have my legs crossed. This is called easy pose. You can also choose maybe to have the one leg out, two legs out, whatever position is comfortable for you. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. I want you to think about lifting up that spine, space between your chin and chest, wrist to the knees, first finger and thumb touching. Your palm can sit up or down. I want you to close your eyes. Hopefully you have that nice quiet yoga music on. And I want you just to focus on your breathing. Just be aware of your breath. Feel that air as it comes into the lungs. And be aware of that air as it slowly comes back out. Now, while you're focusing on that breath, make sure you're breathing inhale through the nose and exhaling through the nose as well. Nice and slow and relaxed. Anytime you find your mind starting to wander throughout the practice, just come back to that breath. Paying attention to it coming into the lungs and controlling it as you exhale. Leave out any outside distractions or stress. They'll be there in an hour when we finish. Just take this time for yourself. It's time to be a little selfish. Now, as you're focusing on that air exchange, I want you to relax any expression in the forehead. Release the muscles around the eyes. Relax the jaw. Just feel that tongue release down. Relax those shoulders. Try to be at peace. Stretching through the neck, we're going to take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, I want you to bring your chin into your chest. And as you push your chin in, you're lifting your heart to meet it. We're going to slowly roll your right ear toward your right shoulder. And you're only going to go until you feel the pull through the side neck. Just hold it here and breathe, keeping those shoulders relaxed, that heart lifted. Big inhale. As you exhale, I want you to take your chin to your chest, and we're going to slowly roll to that other side. Again, where you feel the pull is where I want you to hold. So every day, this may be in a different place. Listen to your body. Big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to go back to the heart center. Drop those shoulders down. Lift your heart up. Let's go ahead and take that head up. Big inhale. On your exhale, you're going to continue to draw that head back, keeping the jaw closed, feeling the stretch through the front of the neck. Please listen to the back of the neck. Inhale, drawing that head center. We're going to go back to chin to the chest. I want to do some nice slow neck rolls. Shoulders relaxed, chest up, big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to roll the right ear to the right shoulder. We're going to slowly bring that head back. Use your full range of motion And now we're moving to the left and bringing that chin to the heart. Hold and take an inhale. As you exhale, move to the left this time. All the way back. Jaw stays closed. And then coming back to the center. Hold as you inhale. Exhale right. Drop that left shoulder as you move to the right. Lifting that heart as you come back. Right shoulder down as you move to the left. Take that heart to the chin to the heart. Big inhale. Last time, exhale, moving to the left. Just keep it slow and smooth, keeping your shoulders relaxed. No expression on the face. Taking the chin to the heart and hold, lift your heart. Feel a stretch in the back of the neck. And taking that head up, big inhale. Let's go ahead and move on to all fours, coming into tabletop. I want you to make sure that your knee is right underneath the hip. The wrist is right underneath the shoulder. So everything is stacked up. Nice wide fingers. We're going to curl those toes and we're just going to take your hips up, moving into our first downward dog. If you are really tight, this is going to feel difficult. So I want you just to jog those heels. Maybe you're just bending the knees and pressing your chest in, just kind of finding your place in downward dog. And let's go ahead and come back down onto the knees. You're going to keep your toes curled and just push your hips back. We're stretching through those toes, through the beginning of the arch. Shoulders relaxed, belly is tight. Inhale, coming back to the center. Exhale, hips up, moving again back into downward dog. You should not have to adjust your feet or your hands. Just move within this position here, trying to get your body into the shape of a triangle. Coming back down onto those knees. This time we're going to take the top of the feet to the mat. We're going to stretch the top of the feet. So you're going to just release the knees from the floor and slowly come up. As soon as you feel that stretch through the top of the foot, I want you to stop. You may not feel it until you get all the way here. You may feel it right here. Listen to your body. Let's go ahead and take that down. Curl those toes. Once again, downward dog. This time I want you to try to get those legs a little straighter. Take those shoulder blades away from the ears. You're pushing them towards your hips. And then if you can, tailbone toward the ceiling. That little pelvic tilt will make a big difference in how this downward dog feels. Coming back to the knees. Let's go ahead and take our right foot forward. We're coming into a modified runner's lunge. Go ahead and really walk that foot forward so that when you sink these hips, the knee and ankle are stacked. You're really pressing the hips down. Your hands can be on the floor. They can be on a block. They can be on your thigh or both hands to the inside. Just let the hips drop. Shoulders are relaxed. Going through a little flow. We're going to inhale, just release that. Exhale, press everything forward. On your inhale, release it. Exhale, moving forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward and hold. Keep that tummy tight. And let's go ahead and release this right foot. We're going to switch. Bring that left foot forward. So if you can't just walk that foot forward, you're going to grab underneath and bring it forward. Sink down. Again, my knee and ankle are stacked. My shoulders are relaxed. Finding your position, whichever position works for you. I want you to feel this right hip flexor. Letting those hips drop, you're going to feel this through the haunches, the glutes, the hips, the inner thigh, depending on what's tight. All right, take an inhale, come back. Exhale, sink, shoulders down, belly tight. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale and hold. All right, from here, taking that left hand back to the outside, You're going to curl this back right toe, and I want you to push off and come on up into a forward fold. Now, in your very first forward fold, I want the crown of your head pointed at the floor. So you're not looking at your feet or at the floor. I want you actually looking at your shins, looking at your thighs or your knees, somewhere in this section right here. That releases the neck. The hands need to be making contact. So if you cannot reach the floor, your hands are to your body. Or if you have a block, using that block, there are 3 levels to this block to help you slowly progress. So if you're super tight, you'll be here. And then as you start to progress and loosen up, maybe you can get a little bit lower. Let that head relax. I want you just to release the neck just by shaking that head out. Keeping that tummy tight. The idea is that you're pushing your chest towards your thighs. Breathing deep. All right, we're going to take a big step back with that right foot. So hands come to the floor, the knees bend, big step back with that right. So now we're in a full runner's lunge. You can feel free to drop that knee if you need to, or you can stay right here. You can hold it here, or you can lift the hips and round the back, trying to get this left leg straight, but don't feel you have to. Exhale, lower down, shoulders relax. On your inhale, lift. Your exhale lowers you down. Last time, inhale and up. Exhale and lower, hold. All right, we're going to go ahead and drop that right knee down. We're going to drag this left foot back, finding our way into tabletop. Take the time to get lined up. Curl those toes, hips up, downward dog. Pressing those heels down, shoulders away from the ears. Don't worry if you can't get the heels to the floor. Just let them relax, let them drop down. And now we're going to go ahead and come on down to those knees. We're going to take that right foot forward. Help it along if you need to. Hands on either side or to the center. Curl that back toe. Come back up into full runner's lunge if you can. Pressing off, come on up into forward fold. Crown of the head drops. Looking at those legs, right at those kneecaps. Hands are anchored. Pressing your chest towards your thighs. Now we're going to bend your knees. Hands come to your upper thighs, belly tight, round as you slowly come up. At the top, just give me a roll, a shoulder roll. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Hands together, I want you to round your back and just slowly dive down. Forward fold. Hold it here, breathing. All right, big step back with that left. So hands on either side, bend those knees, big step back. Let the hips drop down. Again, you can take this left knee down if you need to. Both hands can be also to the inside. You can also use the block or 2 blocks. You can also be up here. Lots of places to go. Staying right here, or let's go ahead and lift and straighten if you can. Round, inhale. Exhale, lower. Please don't feel like you need to get this leg straight. Inhale up. Just go until you feel that gentle pull through the hamstring. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Belly tight, shoulders down. Let's go ahead and drop that left knee, dragging that right leg back, finding our way into into tabletop. Curl those toes and let's take those hips up. Downward dog, holding here. Now I do want to show a modification here. If you can't get up into downward dog, feel free to just stay in tabletop and just work on pressing those heels back, stretching through the calves. This is a great alternative, right? You can also come to the forearms and do it from here, okay? So use those modifiers if you need to. All right, we're here. Let's go ahead and come on up to our tippy toes. If you're in downward dog, you're up on your tippy toes, stretching through the arches. Let's exhale and press those heels down. Shoulder blades are away from the ears. Inhale, up. Big exhale as you let those heels drop. Last time, inhale, up. Exhale and drop. Taking it onto those knees. Left foot forward. Help it along if you need to. Extending that right back if you can. Modifying here if you need to. And let's go ahead and push up and come on up into that forward fold. Using that block if you need to. Bringing the chest toward those thighs. Relax the crown of the head toward the floor. Let those shoulders be nice and loose. We're going to take those hands, we're going to grab the opposite elbows, and I want you just to drop your head. We're going to do an exaggerated nod of the head, so chin to the chest, head all the way back. Chin to the chest, head all the way back. Just loosening up a little more through that neck, warming up those muscles. Coming back to the center. Now we're going to go chin to shoulder, side to side, and see if you can get your chin to actually touch that shoulder. Breathe. Back to the center. Hands release. Head drops. And let's go ahead and bend your knees, hands back to those thighs, tummy tight, and slowly roll up. Now, if you have any low back issues, coming up from forward fold with those hands on the knees is the best way to modify. All right, we're going to add a little bit to this. So let's take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to swan dive and come on down into forward fold. We're going to come up halfway. This is a flat back, tummy's tight, looking forward. So it can be here, it can be here, it can be block. Lots of options here. Let's go ahead and take it back into forward fold. Stepping back with that right foot, we're moving into runner's lunge. So again, I'll be in full. You feel free to modify right here. Hold. We're going to drag this front foot back. So knee down, drag that left foot back into tabletop. Find that tabletop. Curl your toes, tummy tight, hips up, downward dog. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Tailbone toward the ceiling, let those heels fall. Let's go ahead and take the feet into the center of the mat. I want you to reach back with that right foot. Both hip bones are pointing to the floor. You're letting that left heel try to touch the mat, and I want you to separate those toes. And you're just bringing that foot up just high enough, basically to be parallel to the floor. Take a nice big inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to bring this right foot forward. So you're going to either come forward and flip it all the way up or down to the knees and bringing that foot forward, helping it along. We're going to extend that left leg back and just drop those hips and hold. Shoulders relax. This back foot is going to turn, so we're going to flip the back foot on its side. You're lining up the heel and the arch like they're standing on the same line. I want you to drop the hips, tummy's tight. You're going to take your hands either back or to your thigh, right? Thigh, this is better for low back issues. Hands back if you can. You're going to lift your heart and then bring those arms up. We're coming into Warrior One. In Warrior One, those shoulder blades are down. Those arms are reaching for the ceiling, so we don't have relaxed hands. We have nice straight arms, fingers reaching toward the ceiling. We're going to bend into this front right knee. We're going to pull back on this right hip and push that left hip forward. If your hip bones are headlights, you want them to face forward. Hold and breathe. Relax those shoulders. Lift your heart. You're kind of leaning back a bit into that back left leg. If you want harder or more intense, you bend that knee. If that's too much, you start to straighten up that leg. Hands to your heart in prayer position, shoulder blades down. Let's go ahead and take it all the way to the floor. Rotate on this back toe and then push off and come on up into forward fold. Let the crown drop. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms out to the side, or remember, hands to your thighs if you need to. Bring it above the head, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, coming into prayer. Same thing, other side, big inhale. Reaching those fingers out, forward fold. Coming up halfway. Exhale all the way down. We're going to step back with this left foot, big step. Hips drop, maybe that knee comes down. Perfect. All right, now let's go ahead and take that knee down. Drag that right foot back. Finding your way into tabletop. Curl those toes, hips up, downward dog. Shoulder blades away. Let's go ahead and take those feet together. Let's reach back with that left. Both hip bones point to the floor. We're separating the toes, letting that right heel try to touch the mat, still pressing the chest in, shoulder blades away. Just go where you can. Listen to your body. All right, let's go ahead and bring that foot forward, so onto the knees. Left foot forward. Extend that right leg back. Turn it on its side. Sinking low. Lining up the heel and arch. Hands come back or to your thigh. Lift your heart. Bring those arms up. Active arms reaching for the ceiling. Shoulder blades down. Biceps near the ears. Lift your heart. Lean back into that back leg a little bit. Sink into that front knee. You're pulling back on this left hip, pushing that right hip forward, squaring those hips to the front. Focus on your breath. Big inhale. Hands in prayer. Exhale, slowly come on down. Pushing off with that back toe. Come on up. Forward fold. Hips up, head drops. Hold here and catch your breath. Let's reverse swan dive and come on up. Big inhale. As you exhale, hands to your heart. All right, we're going to add on, but you can stay with that we just did. Big inhale up. Reaching out, swan dive, forward fold. Come on up halfway. Inhale. Exhale all the way down. Stepping back right. Hips drop. Hold. Pressing back into that right heel. And then come on back into tabletop. Find tabletop. Curl those toes, hips up, downward dog. Shoulder blades away, feet together, reaching back with that right. Separate those toes. You can stay here or open up the hips and take that straight leg higher toward the ceiling. Use the palms of your hands to press your chest towards your thigh. Don't use those fingertips, palms of the hands. Let's go ahead and take this right foot in between the hands, so either all the way forward or down to the knees first, and then bring that right foot forward. Back foot turns, sink low. Hands back. Find your steady, and then chest, and then your arms. Don't worry if you're wobbly, the strength will come. Shoulder blades down, pulling back on your right, pressing your left hip forward, sink. We're going to move into warrior two, so hands come into prayer. We're going to move to that left, release those arms into the letter T. From here, I want you to sink into that front right, shoulder blades down and together. Tuck your tailbone, press this right knee open. Lifting that heart, you have a nice proud chest. Warrior two. Coming back into warrior one, we are going to drop this left hand. You're going to pull back on your right hip, push your left hip forward and come back into warrior one. Hands to your heart, slowly down. Coming onto that back toe, pushing off. Forward fold, hips up, head drops, gluing the chest to the legs. Hands are supported. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, shoulders relax as you slowly come into prayer. Left side, big inhale, reach up. Reaching out, swan dive, forward fold. Come on up halfway. All the way down. Stepping back with your left. Let your hips drop. Maybe we need that knee down. Finding your way into tabletop. Lining up, big inhale. Curl those toes, downward dog. Hips up, chest in, using the palms. Feet together, let's take that left foot back. Maybe you stay here, maybe you open up the hips. Reach that left foot toward the ceiling, separating those toes. That right heel's trying to touch the mat. You're pressing your chest in, shoulder blades away. Big inhale. On the exhale, let's see if you can sweep that leg forward. If not, move from tabletop. Back foot turns onto its side, heel and arch are standing on the same line, hands back. Lift your heart and then your arms. Sink into that front knee. Pull back on your left hip, push that right hip forward. Hold. Is there space between your chin and chest? Focus on your breathing. Hands to your heart in prayer. We're going to move to the right, opening to the right. Release those arms to the side in the letter T. Tuck your tailbone. Sink into that front knee. Now press that knee back. So you're really feeling it in that inner thigh. Lift your heart, shoulders down, blades together, staring over that front left middle finger. Hold. Keep that breath moving. Big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to drop this right. Pull back on that left hip, push your right hip forward and sink back into warrior one. Hands to your heart all the way down. Pushing off, forward fold. Hips up, let that head just drop. Now we're going to inhale and reverse swan dive up. Exhale to your heart. All right, we have one more time on each side. Again, adding on if you'd like. Inhale up, reach. Reaching out, swan dive, forward fold. Coming up halfway, flat back, looking forward. Exhale all the way down. Stepping back right. Hips drop, shoulders relax, knee down if you need it. Finding your way into tabletop. Big inhale. Exhale, hips up, downward dog, shoulder blades away, tailbone to the ceiling. Feet together, reaching back right. Maybe you want to open. Maybe now you want to take your heel into your glute and point that knee up. Just hold it here, pressing that chest in, shoulder blades away. Make sure that that right or that left heel is trying to touch the mat so you're not holding any tension. Let's go ahead and take that right foot forward. So knees or just all the way through. Extend that left leg out, drop those hips. Back foot turns on its side, lining up the heel and arch, hands back. Lift your heart, lift your arms, sink, shoulder blades down, reaching for the ceiling. Pull back on that right hip, push that left hip forward, hold. Hands into prayer at the heart. Let's go ahead and move to the left. Release those arms, letter T. Tuck your tailbone, sink. Press that right knee open. Lift your heart, shoulder blades down and together. Squeeze that spine. Left hand back to that back leg. Right palm up, inhale. As you exhale, I want you to reach up toward the ceiling as you lift your heart, arching your back. Try not to let that front right leg go straight. Stay down into the hip. Maybe that's a little easier. Maybe you want to go back a little further. Feel the stretch here. Feel the strength through the legs. Coming back up, warrior two, shoulder blades down. Squeeze those blades. Take that left hip down, pull back on that right hip, warrior one. Arms up, biceps by the ears. Hands to your heart all the way down, pushing off. Forward fold. Catch your breath. Big, deep breaths. Let's reverse swan dive. Inhale. Exhale to your heart. Relax your shoulders. Last time. Inhale up, reach. Reaching out, swan dive, forward fold. Coming up halfway. Exhale all the way down. Stepping back left. Hips drop, runner's lunge. Knee can be down. Come on down into tabletop. Find a good tabletop. Get lined up. Curl those toes, hips up, downward dog. Shoulder blades away, heels down. Feet together. Let's go ahead and reach that left back, separating the toes. Maybe you want to open up the hips. Maybe take your heel to your glute, point the knee up at the ceiling, press your chest and shoulder blades away. Just breathe. Let's go ahead and take this foot forward in between those hands. So remember, you can come down to the knees first. Bringing that left foot forward, extending that right behind you, turn it onto its side. Sinking those hips, hands back, tummy tight. Lift your heart, lift those arms. Shoulder blades down and together. Squeeze that spine. Reach those fingertips to the ceiling. Sink into that front leg. This is your power. If you're dying, come up a little bit. Make sure you're really pressing that right hip forward and pulling back on that left hip. Hands to your heart in prayer. Shoulders relaxed. We're going to move to the right. We're going to release those arms into the letter T. I want you to tuck and sink. Press that front knee open. Don't let it come in. Push it back. Shoulder blades down and together. Looking over that front middle finger. Let's take that right hand back. Left palm up. This is your inhale. As you exhale, I want you to reach up. Shoulder blades down, arching the back. You're reaching up and out as you bring that heart up. Breathe. No tension in this back arm. It's just there for a little support. Let's go ahead and take it back into 2. Tuck. Open up that front left knee. Now we're going to take this right hip. We're going to drop it. We're going to pull back on that left. Push that right hip forward. Sink and come into warrior 1. I want hips forward. So if you need to move that back foot in order to get those hips to move forward, I would like you to do that. Sink. Hands to your heart. Take it all the way down. Pushing off with that back foot. Forward fold. Hips up. Head drop. Hold and breathe. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. And exhale to your heart. Shoulders relax. And release. All right, if you'd like to take this opportunity to grab some water, go ahead and do that. You can just hit pause. We're moving on to a balance pose. So working on that balance, very important to do as we age especially, but really it's to train that brain and that muscle to get them to work together. So grab that drink if you need to. Pause it. Otherwise, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start in mountain at the front of your mat. Feet are hip width apart. You have just a little tiny bend to your knees. I want you to tuck your tailbone, get your tummy in nice and tight, lift your heart, roll your shoulders, and take those palms forward. There is space between your chin and chest, so your chin is in neutral. The shoulders are relaxed down, and you're lifting that heart up, so you have this nice proud chest. Close your eyes, and I want you to come back and focus on that breath. Just focusing on the inhale, controlling the exhale through the nose. Bringing that heart rate down. We're calming the body, relaxing the nervous system. You have control over that. Just stay focused on your breath. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and open your eyes for me. We're going to take those arms out into the side like the letter T. I want you to take the weight of the body to the right, and we're going to go ahead and take this left ankle above the right knee, and then we're going to open up this knee. You can be holding onto a wall or a chair, but I want you to have it there just in case, but not to rely on. You need to work the muscles and that brain muscle connection. You cannot do that if you have your hand on something all the time. So if your hand is on something and you're still struggling with balance, that's great. If you have your hand on something and it's easy, I want you to remove all but one finger, all right? And then eventually you'll work to where you don't need to hold on anymore. Taking those hands into prayer, shoulders down. All right, we can stay here, or we start to squat, leaning back with the glutes, bending that front knee, back stays flat. Hold when you start to feel the hip. That hip will become involved. Maybe you can take it a little lower. Stay back in the heel. Don't let that knee come forward. Maybe you can take your hands to the floor. You can round your spine here. And I like to just hook my toes over that right arm. It does help a little bit with balance as well. Readjust that left leg if you need to. All right, here comes a challenge. Let's go ahead and release the grip from the floor. Start with one hand and then move on to the other and see if you can hold on to that ankle and still maintain that balance. You got to keep that tummy tight. Your tendency would be to push those abs out. Keep them nice and tight. Finding a spot to stare out on the floor does help. Just focus on that spot. It's okay if you're wiggly and moving around. That is just your body learning to get stronger. All right, to reverse it, hands to the floor, belly's tight, hands into prayer. Try to flatten that back and then press through that bottom foot to come on up and release and shake it out. Don't worry if you're real wobbly, that's okay. We're working to get stronger and to find that balance. Coming back into mountain. We got to do the other side. Relax those shoulders down, lift that heart, proud chest, space between your chin and chest. All right, let's go ahead and take the weight over to the left. Right ankle comes across, hands come into prayer. Stay here, squat back. Maybe you can go a little bit lower. Hold, stay back in that heel. And then maybe you can take the hands to the floor, rounding. Hips do come up a little higher here, but then you kind of just drop them and sink back. Remove one hand. And then maybe the other. Hold, shoulder blades relaxed. There's no tension through the upper body. Keep that tummy tight. Stay focused on the breathing, not holding the breath. Finding your spot to stare at. And then when you're ready, hands to the floor. Then into prayer, flattening that back, and then pressing through, coming up, and then releasing down and shake it out. You may notice one side is better or more stable than the other. That's absolutely normal, and that is okay. Let's go ahead and move back to the front of our mat. Now we get to move into the phase where we're just going to do some static stretching. So finding your way back into that mountain position, mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart, little itty bitty tiny bend to the knees. That's just to let blood flow. Tuck that tailbone tummy tight, lift your heart, roll those shoulders up, back and down. Blades get pulled together so that your heart lifts. Palms can be forward or toward the body. Space between your chin and chest, chin and neutral. Relax the face, release that jaw. Relax the tension from around the eyes. Relax the expression from your forehead. Let's take a nice big inhale, arms come all the way up. And we're just going to swan dive down and come down into forward fold. And I want you to hold it here, letting the crown drop. You're staring at those legs. Remember, we have that block option here. We're going to do a forward fold jog. So we're going to go ahead and keep this right leg straight. We're going to bend this left knee. So all the weight comes into this right leg. Shoulders relax. Again, let that head just release. You can shake it out. Focus on the breathing. Big inhales. Long exhales. One more time, big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to switch. So now our right is bent and our left is straight. Deep inhale through the nose. As you exhale, you can make the ocean sound in the back of the throat. Just helps your body to relax. But don't feel like you have to. Relax the eyes, big inhale. And on the exhale, both legs are straight. Let the head drop. We're going to take a big step back with that right leg, moving back into our runner's lunge. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and modify. So we're going to drop that right knee down. We're going to sink those hips forward. And the hands can be floor, block, or body. They can also be to the inside. I recommend to the inside for the next move that we're going to move into, but you can adjust it for the next move. So first, we're just going to hold it here, just relaxing through the hips, relaxing those shoulders down. Belly's nice and tight. You're kind of pushing your chest out and sinking down. If you don't really feel this right hip flexor, you can walk that right leg back a little bit more. Get a deeper stretch. Relax through the shoulders. Maybe you want to drop the head, release the tension in the neck. All right, we're going to take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, all we're going to do with this left knee is just let it open up to the side. Gravity gets to take it. You're going to roll onto your pinky toes. As you do this, you're pushing your hips toward the floor. So that left knee is open. You're trying to relax through that hip joint, shoulders relax, pressing the chest out. Breathe. One more inhale. As you exhale, let's go ahead and bring that knee up, and we're just going to drag this left foot back. If you want to take the counter pose, you're just going to take it all the way straight behind you, pressing through the heel. Coming back into tabletop. Moving into extended puppy. You're going to keep your hips where they are, and you're just going to walk those hands out. Then you're going to start to drop that chest down, and you're actually trying to get the chest to touch, avoiding the head. And then when you just can't reach anymore, you can't go any further, then you relax the forehead down. If you can actually get that chest to touch the floor, then it may be a chin down position. Just listen to that neck. Stay up on your fingertips as long as you can. That'll help give you a deeper stretch. But when you just can't take it anymore, down to the palms. Breathe. Big inhale. And exhale, press through the palms and then gently coming back up. Perfect. All right, we have to move to that other side. So let's go ahead and take this right foot forward. We're gonna sink. Hands can be out, up, or in, right? You have that block as well to use. If you don't have a block, you can find something at home that'll just help to extend your reach, really is what the block is for. Relax those shoulders, drop those hips. Maybe we want to walk that left leg back. Press that chest out, tummy tight. We're going to hold here. You can close your eyes, you can drop your head. Just stay relaxed and breathe. If being on those hands is too much, you can do fists if you have any wrist issues. One more big inhale. As you exhale, let's go ahead and let that right knee open, coming out to the right pinky toes, pressing your hips deeper toward the floor, readjusting if you need to, shoulders relaxed, and just hold here. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let's go ahead and bring it up, and we're just going to drag it back, maybe moving all the way behind if you would like. Coming back into tabletop. We're going to work on some more spine mobility here. So we're going to do a cat and cow series. We're going to go through it 6 times. You're going to drop your belly and look up. This is a big inhale. This is cow. Look up. And then exhale, round your back, tummy tight. Get that mad cat or that Halloween cat. Inhale, drop your belly, looking forward. Moving with your breath. When you're ready to exhale, you move into mad cat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Make sure you're really getting all that air out on the exhale. When you inhale and drop, you're pulling in as much air as you can. Stay here as long as you can. Exhale. All right, I've lost count, but I think we have one more time. Big inhale, drop. Doing more is not bad. Exhale and round. Coming back to the center. We're going to move into extended child's pose. So you take your big toes together, knees as wide as the mat, hands reach out, and you go ahead and sit your glutes back into your heels. Now, if this bothers your knee or gives you any pressure at all, you can place that block back there and either in between your thigh and your calf, or you can place it in the back to be able to sit on it. I like it right there in between my thigh and my calf. Relax those shoulders down, no tension through those hands. And let's go ahead and inhale and take it up. Moving into tabletop. All right, we are going to move into a pigeon position. So this is going to be a very deep hip stretch. I will walk you through it and show you all kinds of modifications, so just stay with me. So tabletop, curl those toes, hips up, downward dog. Feet together in the center. We're going to reach the right foot back. Now we're going to bring the right knee behind the right hand and the foot behind the left hand. The closer the foot is to the hand, the more flexibility it takes. So if it's too much, then you just walk that foot away from the hand, all right? From here, you're gonna go ahead and start walking that left knee back as far as it'll go until you can't go anymore. And then you're gonna go ahead and bring the hands close to that right leg, shoulders relaxed, lifting your heart. So this is the first position, or upward pigeon. If this is super, super intense, you're just really struggling, you can use this block underneath the hip and it will help to relieve some tension, okay? Now, if you can, I want you to stay here. If this is not working for you, this is just, you can't do it, then you can move into a seated figure 4 position, all right, which is also getting that hip. So this is your alternative move if pigeon is too intense for you. Make sure that you're up in the center. I don't want you listing to one side, the left or the right. Stay right in the center. Now, if you're feeling pretty good, maybe you want to walk those hands out and move down a little bit onto those forearms. Maybe you can move down a little bit onto a block. But I want those shoulders nice and relaxed no matter what you're choosing to do. And I want you to stay here for a few breaths before you move flat, if you can get flat. And the reason I want you to do that is I want you to release any hold you have through this hip. If you think about that junction of that ball and socket, you may notice that everything right there is really tight. Your body's trying to hold on really tight. Use the muscles, use the strength to keep you where you are. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to think about relaxing that ball and socket joint. No tension. It's not holding you up. And then if that releases and you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and release it down. Hands can come into reverse prayer. They can be out flat. If there's no way you're getting into that position, that is just fine. You can stay right here. I'm going to stay right here just because I don't want you to feel like you have to get all the way down there. Just keep those shoulders relaxed. Just keep thinking about dropping your chest toward the legs. Give me one more breath here. Big inhale. And exhale. So if you're all the way flat, you're going to walk up to the forearms. From the forearms to the hands. From the hands, you're going to curl the back toe. You're going to get those hands nice and wide. You're going to curl and press up and come back into downward dog. Maybe even shake this right leg out and find your way back into that downward dog. Shoulders relaxed. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So walking the right foot to the center, we're going to reach that left back. We're going to take the knee behind the left hand, the foot behind the right hand. Come down onto that right knee and then start walking it back. When you can't go any further, walk those hands toward the left leg, shoulders down, coming center. Again, you may find one side is more open than another, and that's fine. Work within what your body will let you do. Don't tell your body what to do. Let your body tell you what it can do. Shoulders relaxed, getting rid of those preconceived notions. Tummy's tight. You're just thinking about sinking your hips toward the floor. We're not listening to the right or the left. Maybe we're using that block underneath the hip. Maybe you're in a seated figure 4 position instead. Just make sure you keep the back flat and that heart lifted if you're in that figure 4 position. Big breaths. All right, maybe you're here for the day and that's fine. Maybe you'll go on and go ahead and walk it down to the forearms or to your block. Belly's nice and tight. You're thinking about relaxing that ball and socket. Keeping that tummy tight. And then maybe you want to move all the way flat. Listening to your body, shoulders down, always trying to drop the chest and the hips, releasing any tension through that ball and socket. Relax that jaw, unclench it. Release the eyes, relax the forehead. Don't let that tension sneak up into your shoulders. Keep them relaxed. All right, take a big inhale. On the exhale, from down all the way flat to your forearms, from your forearms to your hands. Curl that back toe, flat hands, wide fingers, push up, and then go ahead and shake that foot out. And then coming into downward dog. We're going to take it down onto those knees. We're going to do that extended child's pose again. So big toes together, knees wide. Let's go ahead and sit back. Glutes towards your heels, arms stretched out, dropping your chest, letting your forehead relax. Release your jaw. And on your next inhale, let's go ahead and rise up. Finding your way back into tabletop. We're going to walk those hands out. You're going to drop those hips and just slowly snake your body to the floor. From here, I want you to flip over and come onto your back. So we're going to work again into that spine mobility. We're going to move into fish pose. So where I want you is about in the center. So your head is on your mat. Knees are going to be bent. We're going to take those hands to the sides. We're going to roll to one side and get that arm underneath and then roll to the other so that the hands are underneath the glutes. You're going to extend those legs out and you can keep them flexed or point. I have found that everybody kind of likes to do it their own way. What I don't want is those hips to roll open. So make sure those toes are either pointed up or pointed away, but that those legs are together. You're going to push through your forearms and lift up. You're going to lift your heart. Think about arching your back and now look behind you. As we slowly come down, I don't want you to put pressure on your head. I want you to come down until your head is just hovering above the floor. No pressure at all. As you can see, there's no pressure at all on my head. My head is not touching the mat. It is hovering. Belly's tight. If I want to get a little bit more arch, I'm going to lift my heart. Breathe. Breathe into that belly. Feel your belly expand. One more time, big inhale. And then on the exhale, I want you to lift your head, come up again, and then slowly let your body draw down, releasing those hands. You can roll those wrists, bend those knees. Let's go ahead and bring the knees into the chest. Shoulders relax. You're just hugging those legs in. And now maybe you want to rock side to side. So again, this is the counter pose, right? We just arched the spine one way. Now we're going to round it the other way. Coming back to the center, low back down, side to side on that low back. Does she feel good? Release a little tension. And center. Let's take the feet down. We're going to do one for the low back. Everybody I know has tension in their low back, so I always like to include a low back stretch. So for this beginner series, we're just going to glue the knees together, arms out into the letter T. You're going to take those legs to the left. So you're just going to drop them to the left. But as you do this, this right shoulder stays glued to the mat. You are free to use a block, if I can find mine, underneath those legs, because I don't want you to hold any tension through that low back trying to hold those legs up. So a block or something to put those legs on to let them fall onto is great. Even a wall will work well as well. Once you're in that settled position, I want you to take your gaze to that right, relaxing anything through the hip and low back. If you find you have a lot of mobility here when you're at the center, you can pre-twist and then bring everything down. Shoulders are relaxed. Unclench that jaw. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, take that head center. I want you to lift one leg first and then the other. If you pre-twisted, you're going to have to readjust right here. And then we're going to go ahead and take those legs to the other side. So you can just drop those legs, have that block handy if you need it, or you can do that pre-twist and drop those legs to the right as you keep this left shoulder down, looking to the left. You can close your eyes. Just focus on breathing. You're feeling that air coming in, slowly releasing that air out. Don't let those distractions creep in. Just bring more focus to your breath. Is your jaw relaxed? Are you holding any tension around the eyes? Inhale, head center, lifting those legs one at a time, coming back to center, squaring yourself back up. And let's go ahead and release it down into Shavasana. Shavasana is a final relaxation. It's also called corpse pose. The idea is because you work so hard for that first 50 minutes, we're going to take these 5 minutes and just relax. You can have those legs out straight, or if this bothers your low back, feel free to bend the knees. I know a lot of people that also prefer the reclined butterfly as well. It's about your comfort and what you can relax in. So it's not one size fits all. Do whatever works for you, what feels the best. I'm going to bring you in and guide you in to this corpse pose, and then I will go ahead and just fade out. That way you can stay in this corpse pose as long as your body needs you to, and you'll get that relaxation, hopefully not fall asleep. You may want to set a timer. All right, so I want you to relax down. Those shoulders are drawing down. You have space between that chin and chest, but not a lot, right? We're just letting it be natural, but we're not pushing that chin in. So just a relaxed, natural chin and chest. Shoulders draw toward the floor. Elbows relax. Let those fingertips release. I want you to think about letting your hips open naturally through that hip joint, those legs extending out. Closing your eyes, we're going to bring that focus back into the breathing. Big inhale. Slowly exhale. I want you to take your hands and just place them both on your belly, one on top of the other, one above the other. Because when you inhale, I want you to feel that belly rise. Take a nice big inhale, feel it rise. And as you exhale, feel the belly empty. Again, inhale, rise. Exhale, empty. Keep it going. This is going to help you get a great feel for how deep you should be breathing. Make that belly come up. And how much you should be exhaling. Get that belly flat again. One more time, deep inhale. Slowly exhale. Now you can keep your hands where they are, or you can release them to your sides. I want you to bring that breath back into a natural breath. You're feeling that body relax. We're going to start with the forehead. Release any tension through the forehead. Relax any muscle tension through the eyes. Relax that jaw. Feel the tongue just slip back. As you exhale, I want you to feel that relaxation walk down that neck. Those shoulders are dropping toward the floor, opening through the chest. On this exhale, feel that relaxation move down the arms, relaxing the elbows, releasing any tension through the forearms, relaxing those fingers. On this exhale, that relaxation moves from your chest down to your belly. Release any tension through your glutes. Relax those hips. Feel those legs just open in that hip joint.
Be mindful as that exhale moves down the legs and the thighs and hamstrings. The kneecaps, they float. As you continue your exhale, the calves are relaxed, the ankles. You finally push all of that energy out through the feet. On this exhale, just feel your entire body melting into that mat. You're releasing all and any tension. Let the mat hold you up. If you find your mind starting to wander, focus again on that breathing. Filling those lungs with oxygen. And exhaling all of that stale air out from the very bottom of the lung. Namaste.